I'm so excited to walk you through exactly how to make this. This is a vegan and gluten-free apple cobbler. It's going to take about 10-ish minutes. Whisk. So I have about 4 pounds of apples here, and I'm just going to thinly slice them. Kind of cheat when I'm slicing apples. I don't do the whole core removing thing. I just slice around it. I'm just saving some of the apples for topping the cobbler before it goes in the oven. You just need a few, not too many. I'm gonna set this aside. So all my apples are sliced, ready to go, and I'm gonna be adding a little orange juice to the apple mix while we're cooking our apples. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prep my orange. Perfect. So I'm heating my large pot over medium heat, and then I'm adding my apples right into the pot, dry, no oil, no liquid. So I'm going to be stirring the apples frequently as they start to heat up. It's going to take about 10-ish minutes for the apples to heat up and start to release liquid. As soon as you see them release just a little bit of liquid, we're ready to add our remaining ingredients. So we're looking for like a teaspoon of apple juice to come out of our apples, and then we'll add all of our other ingredients. So I have a ton of apples in here. I'm just gently stirring. They're starting to warm up, which is perfect, so they'll start to release a little liquid soon and soften up. We want them to be nice and tender, but not mushy. So my apples are nice and soft. They've started releasing that delicious apple juice. So that means we're ready to add our remaining ingredients, and you'll notice how the apples have started to cook down a lot and soften. These apples are releasing a lot of liquid. So I'm adding my cinnamon. I'm adding a little ginger. Then I'm adding some cornstarch. This is gonna help the sauce thicken up. And then of course I'm adding some sugar so that our apple cobbler is nice and sweet. And this is coconut sugar. I love using coconut sugar because it is a unrefined sugar. It will not spike your blood sugar as high as regular sugar because it's lower on the glycemic index, but it's also delicious. It doesn't really taste like coconut. It's a perfect substitute for regular cane sugar or brown sugar. I'm just stirring this all together. I'm gonna decrease my heat now to low, just so that my sauce can thicken up as I stir, and as soon as the sauce is nice and thick and sticky, we're ready to remove this from the heat. My apples are looking perfect. They're nice and tender. I'm making sure they all get coated in my sauce. It's kind of like the caramel sauce that we created with the cornstarch, sugar, cinnamon, and ginger. The last thing I'm gonna do is add a little orange juice just to give it a delicious pop of flavor. I wish y'all could smell my kitchen. It smells amazing in here, and my apples are ready to go. Just gonna stir that orange juice in really well. I am adding our delicious cooked apples right into my cast iron skillet. You can also do this in a casserole dish, both work. And then I'm just gonna spread my apples out into an even layer. How good does this look? Oh my gosh. I have my mom coming to visit me this weekend, so she will get to enjoy some of this cobbler as well. The second best part about cooking is sharing the food with people you love. I'm gonna keep it 100. The number one best part is getting to eat delicious food. So now we're gonna make our cobbler topping, and the base is gonna be almond flour. This is gonna keep our apple cobbler gluten-free, which is amazing because it's a dessert, but it's going to be a healthy dessert. It's going to be anti-inflammatory, full of protein, it's going to have fiber, it's going to have lots of different vitamins and nutrients from the apples, from the almond flour, and everything else that we add. Most of the time when I'm making dessert at home, I always try to include a fruit or a veggie, so I'm actually getting nutrients from the dessert and I'm not just eating empty calories and sugar. So the next thing I'm gonna add is a little cornstarch. This is gonna help our cobbler rise. I'm gonna add my coconut sugar now, adding my sea salt, a little baking powder, whisk. I'm just gonna whisk this all together, making sure to get any lumps out. And the reason I always mix or most of the time, mix my dry ingredient before adding in the wet ingredients, basically mixing those separately, is so that you don't get any clumps of baking powder or salt that weren't mixed well. It's not nice if you take a bite into your dessert and you get a big clump of salt. Just wanna make sure this is well combined. Perfect. So now I'm going to be adding about 6 tablespoons of solid coconut oil. You want this to be solid so that it mimics butter. And trust me, mixing this in solid is going to allow every bite you take of the cobbler to be buttery and delicious. Actually, I'm going to move this whisk. We don't need that anymore. Don't let me lose count of the coconut oil. I think that was 3. So 6 tablespoons solid coconut oil. I like to start with the whisk by just kind of beating the coconut oil into my flour. I'm gonna start with the whisk and then I'm gonna switch to my hands. But I don't wanna melt it too much, so be careful with the hands. Hands can be warm. So I'm just getting in here and I'm kind of kneading it into the flour. Keeping in mind that we are making this vegan gluten-free, so it's a little bit different than how you would make a traditional cobbler when you're using gluten flour and eggs and all of that. So we just switch up the method a little bit. It's going to taste, in my opinion, even better. So we're looking for the texture of wet sand. Making a good little mess. But you know what? Baking is messy and that's a part of the fun. So now I'm gonna add some cold water. Cold is very important because we don't want to melt that coconut oil, as I mentioned before. So I'm just gonna stir this all together. We're making a wet dough. That's the texture we're looking for. Kind of like a wet batter is probably a better description. I'm just making sure it's well combined. Comment below if you're like me and growing up, the best part of every holiday, whoever, your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad would bake cakes and then they would let you lick the bowl. Now that I'm in control and this is my bowl, so good. All right, it's time to cover our cobbler with our dough. So I'm just spooning it in and then I'll spread it out evenly. And I said our dough, it's more like batter. It's kind of a little bit thicker than pancake batter. That's the texture we're looking for. So let's just spread this evenly over our apples. Oof, that looks so good. Cannot wait to eat this. This is a perfect fall winter dessert. Oh my goodness, make this for get-togethers, Thanksgiving. So now I'm gonna top this with those apples that we saved earlier. And I'm just gonna be placing the apples in no particular design. You can do it however you like, but I like to press the apples into my dough so that they get cooked into that dough in the oven. This is looking amazing. I'm excited. All right, so just a few, and if you have any leftover slices, just snap on them. It's a perfect snap. Okay, I think she's ready. Ooh, looking really good. Smelling amazing. Carefully pull it out. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yum. So I'm just going to check and make sure my cobbler is done. And I do this by inserting, ooh, my crust is like nice and crisp. I do this by inserting a toothpick, just my cake layer. And if my toothpick comes out dry, I know that it's done and fully cooked. If it comes out wet, it might need a few more minutes. Just make sure you don't insert the toothpick into the apple filling, because of course that's gonna come out wet. We're just checking the top cake layer. So this is done and ready to enjoy. This is what I make when I want a cozy fall dessert, but I still want to feel healthy and nourished and accomplish my fitness goals. This is a vegan and gluten-free apple cobbler. This dessert will not cause you any inflammation. It's good for your gut health. It won't spike your blood sugar as high as a traditional cobbler because we use unrefined sugars that are lower on the glycemic index. Ooh, look at that. Yum.